Okay, this is the thing that Robert Bly does. Robert Bly reads you a line, and then he reads a line again. I've done the whole poem, and I'm doing it again, but this is Dog Days. And you know, an FM road is a farm-to-market road, right? Okay. Along this county FM road, there's water vapor gathered in the ditches, and overhead the trees show dusty green. The radio reports on politics and fornication. A teacher and her 13-year-old lover, Lord, save us from the need to chide sad flesh, or to believe we're not all animals with wishes. Help us admit the blessing in an August wind, a cloud-troweled sky, the shelf of blue behind. Show us the truth's an urgent belly, what we need most, the slick fender on a Chevy, a body bent over it, hot as a summer garage, the roller coaster second before we come. Okay, so, unlike Claire, I can't be serious for very long. So this is, you know, there's a lot of talk about aliens lately, and I would like to contribute to the discussion of aliens. Aliens. There is no way to tell by looking at them. We are always fooled by their fat old man disguises, their frumpy clothes. We're blind to the long eyes hidden under sunglasses, the inky hole beneath a specious nose. And friends, they resemble us. Confused, well-meaning, apt to make themselves at home. In this, their ways are comforting, so like our own. They move into our newspapers, onto our breakfast tables, serve themselves with grits. So we get used to them. Don't gripe if they're gone for hours and tell small lies. We find it easy to ignore the hubbub under backyard tarps and fail to see a craft take shape inside its metal skin. We say we're close, although they don't confide. It's only when they spike away, vanish into hyperspace, that we admit we didn't know them well, although we say it was impossible to tell. Oh, you know, this isn't an unlikely poem, but I'm going to read it because it is about this place and how much I love it. I wrote it for a friend up north who just couldn't sort of wrap their head around what it was like to be a Southerner. You're going to get all the references, except for anybody younger here. You may not know that Night Train is an exquisitely bad and a blindingly cheap red wine. My South. On the left, the Chuffalaya, so black, so burnt inside, silent as a pot. Down south, our lips equal silt and common bliss. Down south, we carry our graves folded in our pockets, a cardboard hunger, a box, and shards. The woman beside me in this food line wears a skin-tight skirt, has a backdoor man. Down south, we have the right to cliche and gossip, to numbers and pawn. Down south, we observe the bendable rules that stand in for bone. Below Missouri, I have a chicory bias. Low blues and Jolie Blonde are my national anthem. Down here, I learned acoustics from Professor Longhair, religion from the Mardi Gras gods, patience in February's saxophone wind. Like buckwheat and the meters, I adjust my heartbeat to the pulse of the tune. Despite the hunter, I am the snake half of the gator. I'm as romantic as a bad house band. I still think of salvation every time. Night train, sugar cane, souffle, étouffée. The key to muddy silence is under my tongue, where your world gapes open, darling. Mine shivers in. Okay, now, I really didn't know whether to read this because it's, I don't know what it is. It's certainly tongue-in-cheek, so you take it in the spirit in which it's given. I was zooming down the highway one day, and I saw a big sign that said, Church of the Firstborn. So this is thoughts after observing the Church of the Firstborn sign on Highway 99 South. And it starts with a quote from the Bible. Is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us? Mark 6, 1 through 6. So, Jesus had siblings. Imagine the holy sister sliding a sweaty hand up shepherd's robes, reaching into that woolly darkness. And suppose she gets pregnant like her mother before the wedding, and she finds another easygoing Joseph. How could family friends keep from saying, sure, God comes again? In that tone. After which, sweet Jesus, you'd have to grin and keep in mind, let he who has no sin. There must have been the clumsy brother, too, who scuffed his sandals, let the donkey loose, the one who always had a runny nose and wiped it on his wrist, a hypocrite, a thief, a kid who'd go to temple, be a Pharisee. Jesus, wouldn't you have to remember, judge not that ye be not judged? For a Messiah blessed with siblings, the seductress, money changer, chisel bender, all of them so loose with drachmas that the Savior put aside for Mom. All his relatives were good practice for Jerusalem, for censure, for jouncing into town on that ass, for the forswearing, heavy lifting, for the vinegar at last. The passion had to be for him like strolling on the lake, no worse, he might say later, than Christmas with the folks. Okay, well, one of my friends is the very fine contemporary poet Andrea Hollander Buddy, and she wrote a poem about bigotry. This is my homage to her. This is a poem after her poem, but because it's me, this is a poem about addiction. Wolf. It is not hunger or its empty bowl he fears. It's the helpless taste for pork that drives and masters him. Hog lust, eating up the night, chewing through the dark to the tidy houses, straw, then sticks, then brick. He admires the walls, sees them blown away, razed, imagines pig families skewered, barbecued to ease his fearful appetite. At night, he tells himself that sows are born fools, that pigs exist to tempt a wolf. He is a fiend to get at them. Will chance the steep climb to any chimney to catch the smell of rank honeyed hides, useless swine, porkers, prey. He will slide to their center, their hot, sweet center. The reason that the iPhone is useless for as a timekeeper is that it turns itself off in the most efficient way. Okay, baby, we're good. This poem that followed, these are two poems about love, which is for me at best problematic, although I have a wonderful husband and have had him for a really long time. Before him, there was a parade of people not so fun. So, rules for dating. Whatever you're chasing just for the sake of chasing, quit. When you find yourself with a mouthful of rat, spit. That's me and because we are in that time in our culture when nobody wants to die, and so they have trumped to this love affair with vampires and werewolves and people who don't die, of course, because they're already dead. So this is my homage to that moment. And also it's another one of those love poems. Love for the undead. A vampire doesn't appear in the mirror. I adore that knack for antimatter. Confuse one lover with another. Was it the swimmer with kleptomania? Was it my best friend's younger brother? A man on the lam casts a flimsy shadow. Being substanceless has its virtue. For me, true love is 9 parts water. Guys I chat up at the quick stop counter. More transparent than it appears. Okay, and this is so embarrassing. You shouldn't be as snarky as I am. Really. You know, whoop, let this be a lesson to you. I have now spilled water twice. Let this be a lesson to you. Snark does not become you, nor does it me, but I'm reading this poem anyway. You know how they say, this really happened? This really happened. In California, the little cups of something perfectly round balance on her ribs, push her blouse buttons, t-shirt logo out towards a desert sunset. Her whole taut body is the bearer of these good tidings. When she hugs me goodbye, the surprise of uncompromising flesh lingers with me for a while. After our last air kiss blows away over the Mojave like the imitation winter breeze from the lobby of the Royal Palm Springs Motel. Yeah, embarrassing, but there you are. One more short poem about Louisiana. Well, it's not about Louisiana, actually, but it takes place in Louisiana. And then I'll close this so you can get to Michael. I think I'll close this. I just want a closing poem. Pleasure. When this was first published, it had another name. It found its title and its subject. Pleasure. We make it our evening goal. Drive it at night on the bayou, wear it on our shoulder like a corsage, watch it eyeing the creme brulee in that restaurant decorated with mandevilla vines. Like a daddy, it cripples our good intention, shoulders us aside on its way to a hot evening in Baton Rouge. No, I can't resist this. These are less than a minute. So. This is an homage to my Eureka Springs home. And I guess you had to be there. But we're moving, in the process of moving, and my friends say we will never move, but stuff is moving, so I think it's happening. The Ozarks. Trains, passengers on trains, broke unions, naked children, little falls, hog scald, home gardens, hand quilters, wood turners, button crafters, pull taffy, water witchers, marine recruiters, bread bakers, road graders, handshakers, verbal contract, land tax, Walmarts, brood mares, corn liquor, kerosene, cranked ice cream, woodpeckers, pecker woods, town deer, mountain lions, water wars, no insurance, pay less, way more, the steamroller future coming at you, dark as the inside of a mule. Okay, let me read this because it's from the anthology that I hope you all will buy on that little thing that he has. Thumb drive. Thumb drive. This also has an epigraph from the Bible. I just can't keep myself from it. I'm a Southerner. The new is not comparable. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine. when it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes 9:10. Poking my finger under the sheet's blue roses to wake the old man is to see his eyes flutter open, not to torment myself, imagining how often this can happen again, not to afflict myself with unnecessary goodbyes, but to stir and be stirred, like that night at the Richie Havens concert when Steve McGee, the busted redheaded dope fiend, popped up just out of jail and doing 15 and ready to pimp some real estate, and how giddy it felt to see his sweet, malingering face, and to realize the pride we all had in our misdeeds and how eager we were to catch up, to welcome each other back, guilty as sin, to wake again into the rush of what we knew about us, the sting of what we knew about them, the need we knew was under everybody's sheets.